5 years in, and they've already proved themselves to live up to their name. Gruesome, and their first album, Savage Land. This is a death, as in the band, inspired album. Hell, a death-inspired band called Gruesome. This is an awesome vinyl that I love having in my collection. I have the other two, the EP and the second album, on vinyl and the CD as well. I absolutely love this band, especially this album. It's kick butt. Let's get into it. Now, I love that the band's death exists in the world that we live in. From 1987's Scream Bloody Gore to 1998's Sound of Perseverance. There's tons of great songs to be heard, and unfortunately the main lead singer of Death passed away in 2001 from cancer, I believe. And, death metal has been mourning over that ever since. But one band arose to the occasion, and it was like, we're not going to just mourn his loss, but we're going to celebrate his legacy. And we're going to release a band called Gruesome, with Matt Harvey on vocals, guitars, lyrics, songwriting, as well as also performing in a band called Exhumed, which is another awesome band. It's a gore metal band. It's amazing. He brings everything to the table. He brings out his Chuck Schuldiner screams and growls, and it's just amazing. He's a very talented death metal singer. Daniel Gonzalez plays guitars. He also is a newer member to the band Possessed, which recently released a new album after 30-something years. That's awesome. Robin Mason plays bass, and she does a fantastic job. It's not really there's no real bass solos or anything, but you can tell that the heavy slamming is in there, and it makes everything have a lot more punch. Gus Rios plays drums as well as guitar. I love the drumming in this band. It's so primitive, much like the album as a whole. The album style, it's came out of Tampa, Florida, with bands like Obituary, Deicide, Nocturnus, Massacre, and it really has that Tampa, Florida feel. It's like, oh, we're gonna have fun while doing death metal. To me, this album obviously sounds like Death's Leprosy, but it also sounds like it's mixed with Cannibal Corpse's Eaten Back to Life, which are two great albums. And if you want to see how savage they can be, check out their music video for Savage Land, which is the first and my favorite song off this album. They have a music video on YouTube. You have to be over 18 to watch it because there's age restriction, but it has cannibal movies and all the gore and brutality you have seen in them in that one music video. It's like, holy crap. Well, it doesn't have every single scene, but there are some pretty nasty sights to behold in that music video. It's kind of poorly edited, but I feel that's kind of how like older lower budget music videos were edited. They didn't quite match with all the songs, beats, and they just went with the flow. The album artwork, which I absolutely love, was done by Ed Repka, who also did album artworks for bands like Massacre and a little known one as Megadeth. What are some negatives on this album? I'd have to say that it's going to turn a lot of people off because it's basically just death worship. Like, not the actual thing of death, but the band Death. It's got a lot of the same sounds and song beats and guitar work. It's like, it's a lot of Death, but I don't see it as them trying to rip Death off. I think they're trying to just keep his legacy alive and help Death to live on. And there ain't no problem with that with me. My favorite songs on this album, the as before mentioned Savage Land, Trapped in Hell, Gangrene, Closed Casket. They're all awesome with songs like Demonized, Hideous, Psychic Twin, Gruesome. I read most of those out of order, but hey, that's okay. This album is primitive and raw. I love it. There are some setbacks, like people are not going to love it because of its death worship, but it is also in their early stages of their album making. It's not their first rodeo, but they're just getting into the mold here. It's trying to be as savage and gruesome as possible. Overall, I give Gruesome's Savage Land a 3 out of 5. Thank you all for watching, and I'm Brian Gatto, the horror show host. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page and Twitter page, and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will help keep the channel going on strong, and I'd greatly appreciate it. The links to those will be in the description below. Also hit the notification bell, and as always, subscribe.